Welcome to today's news. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanzeeba Noreen. Here are the latest trending news stories from across the globe. Let's dive into today's top headlines. President Trump criticized Zelensky for blocking peace talks with Russia. Defense Secretary Hegseth installed a makeup studio near Pentagon press room. U.S. citizen with disabilities was detained for 10 days by DHS, family says. Senator Dick Durbin announces retirement, will not seek re-election in 2026. Governor Hochul announced historic Lockport post office renovation was complete with 1.8 million state support. Michelle Obama spoke out on skipping Trump's second inauguration and divorce rumors. Demi Moore reflects on strong family roots with Bruce Willis after divorce. China opens door to trade talks as the U.S. eyes tariff reductions. Iran calls U.S. sanctions a barrier to nuclear talks progress. Eleven killed in Gaza school shelter as Israel continues bombing campaign. India suspends key treaty and orders Pakistani nationals to leave after Kashmir attack. And London Marathon boycotts X over abuse and toxicity under mask. You are listening to Headlines, now news in detail. President Donald Trump strongly criticized Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky for rejecting peace talks with Russia, saying a deal was very close. In a long post on Truth Social, Trump said Zelensky's refusal to accept Russia's control of Crimea was very harmful for peace. Zelensky had said on April 22nd that Ukraine would never give up Crimea, calling it unconstitutional. He said there is nothing to talk about here. Tensions between the two leaders rose after a heated meeting in February at the White House, where Trump accused Zelensky of risking World War III. Trump later paused military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine. Earlier this month, Zelensky invited Trump to visit Ukraine after a Russian missile strike killed 34 people in Sumy. He hoped a visit would help Trump understand the damage caused by Russia. Talks for peace recently fell apart when Secretary of State Marco Rubio and envoy Steve Witkoff cancelled their attendance in London. However, Trump's envoy Keith Kellogg is still planning to meet Ukraine's top officials. Although peace seems unlikely now, Trump's administration will continue to push for a deal. Trump had promised to end the war during his first 100 days back in office. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth recently ordered a makeup studio to be set up next to the Pentagon press room for TV appearances. The project cost several $1,000s even as the administration searched for budget cuts. Before joining the Pentagon, Hegseth worked as a Fox News host. He has promised to focus on military readiness, and war-fighting improvements. The green room was renovated earlier this year. A table was removed and a large mirror with makeup lights and a director's chair were added. The upgrade was suggested by Tammy Radabaugh, a former Fox and CBS producer. Hicks' wife, also a former producer and chief spokesman, Sean Purnell, approved the change. The new items came from existing supplies and staff built a new countertop. Hicks has not used the room for press briefings but has used it for TV appearances. The Pentagon is reviewing his past group chats where he reportedly shared military strike plans. Hicks denied leaking classified details. The Inspector General is investigating the matter now. A 19-year-old U.S. citizen, Jose Hermosillo, was arrested by Border Patrol on April 8 in Tucson and held for 10 days, even though his family later proved he was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His family told that Hermosillo has intellectual disabilities, cannot read or write, and did not understand what he signed. Homeland Security said the arrest happened because Hermosillo told an agent he was a Mexican citizen who entered the U.S. illegally. A sworn statement with a childlike signature was posted online. Hermosillo had been visiting his girlfriend's family in Tucson and got lost. He was later found near Nogales without documents and charged with illegal entry. His family quickly shared his U.S. birth certificate and the case was dismissed on April 17. He was released the next day. Arizona Attorney General Chris Myers is now investigating. Hermosillo told he cried every night in detention. His mother was hospitalized from stress and now wants answers. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin announced that he would retire and not seek re-election in 2026, ending his long tenure in the U.S. Senate. Durbin, who has served since 1996, expressed his gratitude to the people of Illinois for their support and his pride in his work. He stated that the challenges facing the nation are historic and pledged to continue fighting for Illinois and the country until the end of his term. Durbin, the Senate Democratic whip, has been a key figure in shaping policies such as DSA and the First Step Act. His retirement is expected to lead to changes in Senate Democratic leadership, with potential successors including Representative Lauren Underwood and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. Tributes poured in, with lawmakers praising Durbin's leadership and contributions to Illinois and the nation. His legacy will include his work on healthcare infrastructure and defending immigrant communities. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Governor Kathy Hochul announced the completion of the historic post office at 1 East Avenue in Lockport as part of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. The $9.7 million project restored the building's original architecture while adding modern updates like new electric, plumbing and elevators. The post office, built in 1902 and listed on the National Register in 1989, received $1.795 million from the DRI. Scalo Development, which bought the building in 2015, handled the renovation and now offers retail and office spaces. Big Ditch Brewing opened a tap room there, and the Greg Lewis Foundation became the first tenant. Officials said this project helped Lockport grow as a tourist and business spot. Other local DRI projects included building upgrades, event spaces, and streetscape improvements. Lockport will also be featured at the 2025 World Canals Conference in Buffalo, where New York will highlight the impact of canal-based revitalization in over 20 communities. The DRI has funded 89 communities since 2016. Michelle Obama has spoken about why she skipped President Donald Trump's second inauguration. She shared her thoughts on her podcast, I Am with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson. The former First Lady said people wrongly believed she was getting a divorce from former President Barack Obama just because she didn't attend the ceremony. Michelle explained that she made the decision for her own well-being and wanted to stop always doing what others expected. She said she even avoided preparing an outfit to make sure she wouldn't change her mind. Michelle said therapy has helped her say no to things like Trump's inauguration and former President Jimmy Carter's funeral, which took place on January 9. She also talked about the pressure famous black women face and said she is learning to choose herself. Michelle wants her daughters, Malia and Sasha, and young women everywhere to learn this skill early. She also denied divorce rumors again earlier this month and said her love for Barack Obama is still strong. Demi Moore recently opened up about her lasting connection with Bruce Willis. In an interview published on April 22, 2025, she told People magazine that she is most grateful they have stayed a strong family even after their divorce. Moore, now 62 years old, said their focus on their children has always remained firm. She and Willis were married from 1987 to 2000 and have three daughters, Rumor, 36 years old, Scout, 33 years old, and Tallulah, 31 years old. Despite their split, Moore said the foundation of making their children a top priority never changed. Bruce Willis retired from acting in 2023 after a dementia diagnosis. He also shares two daughters with his current wife, Emma Heming Willis. Moore celebrated Willis' 70th birthday in March by posting happy family photos on Instagram. She called him BW and wrote, "We love you." In past interviews, Moore said she and Willis will always be a family. She promised to keep showing up for him and she hopes their daughters continue feeling supported and loved by both parents. Now it's time for global updates. China has confirmed that it is open to trade talks with the US following comments made by President Donald Trump on the possibility of significantly lowering tariffs on Beijing. Trump had expressed this idea during a speech signaling a potential shift in the ongoing trade dispute. This comes after Trump's decision to impose additional tariffs on Chinese goods, including those related to China's alleged involvement in the fentanyl supply chain and practices Washington viewed as unfair. The global markets responded positively to these developments with signs of relief as Trump reassured that he had no intention of firing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Since taking office in January, President Trump has enacted tariffs of 145% on numerous Chinese products, which has impacted international trade relations. Looking ahead, analysts believe these talks could play a critical role in shaping future trade dynamics, with both sides reportedly eager to de-escalate tensions. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. Iran criticized new U.S. sanctions on its energy sector, calling them a sign of Washington's lack of goodwill ahead of nuclear talks with the U.S. The sanctions imposed on an Iranian liquefied petroleum gas magnate were part of President Donald Trump's maximum pressure campaign aimed at reducing Iran's oil exports to zero. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei stated that these sanctions contradicted the US's calls for dialogue and demonstrated a lack of seriousness in negotiations. This statement came as high-level talks were set to take place in Oman to address the nuclear issue. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi expressed cautious optimism about the talks, noting that while progress had been made, the outcome was still uncertain. He emphasized that if the U.S. continued with a constructive approach, a positive deal could be reached. Talks are set to continue with both high-level and expert discussions planned for the weekend. At least 25 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes across Gaza, with 11 deaths reported in the bombing of a school being used as a shelter for displaced people. The airstrike, which occurred in the Al Tufa neighborhood of Gaza City, caused a massive fire that led to most casualties. The Civil Defense Agency reported the tragic incident, with many victims burned beyond recognition. The attack was not immediately commented on by the Israel Defense Forces, though Israeli officials often accuse Hamas of hiding behind civilian infrastructure. The renewed Israeli campaign against Hamas since mid-March has left nearly 2,000 people dead and displaced over 420,000 people. Humanitarian aid has been severely restricted as Israel continues its blockade, leaving essential supplies critically low. The UK, France and Germany urged Israel to allow aid into Gaza to avoid further catastrophe. Efforts for a ceasefire led by Qatar and Egypt continue without significant progress, while new proposals for longer-term truce are being discussed. India suspended the 1960 Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan following a deadly attack in Kashmir that killed 26 people, including 25 tourists. The Indian government announced the suspension would last until Pakistan stops supporting cross-border terrorism. The treaty's halt means India will cut off water from the Indus River and its tributaries, impacting millions in Pakistan. The attack in the popular tourist spot of Pahalgam was carried out by suspected militants, killing mostly Hindu tourists. Indian authorities have launched a manhunt for those responsible. The Resistance Front, a lesser-known militant group, claimed responsibility, reportedly with backing from Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Taiba. In response, India ordered all Pakistani nationals in the country to leave within 48 hours and gave Pakistani military advisors in New Delhi a week to depart. India also closed the Atari road link between the two countries. International leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump, condemned the attack and expressed support for India in its fight against terrorism. Let's have a look on today's sports story. The London Marathon announced its permanent boycott of X, criticizing the platform for its toxic environment under Elon Musk's leadership. Event director Hugh Brasher expressed concern over the online abuse faced by athlete Eilish McColgan, who was harassed for her appearance before the marathon. Brasher condemned the abuse as abhorrent and highlighted how X had become a gutter where rational conversation no longer existed. As a result, the London Marathon ceased posting on its X account, which had 191,000 followers. Brasher emphasized that the event's mission was to spread positivity, a stark contrast to the negativity on X. Regarding policy changes, Brasher confirmed confirmed the marathon would continue its stance on trans women in elite races following a recent UK Supreme Court ruling. He stated that trans women could participate in the mass event but not in competitive categories. Brasher emphasized the need for further guidance from the Equalities Human Rights Commission and Sport England to implement the ruling properly. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 18,631.09. The NYSE Composite is increased by 175.95 points or 0.95%. Tokyo stock close price is 34,868.63. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 648.03 points or 1.89%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,296.36. The Shanghai index is decreased by 3.40 points or 0.10%. Hong Kong stock close price is 22,072.62. The Hang Seng index is increased by 510.30 points or 2.37%. Bombay stock close price is 80,116.49. The Sensex index is increased by 520.90 points or 0.65%. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. President Trump criticized Zelensky for blocking peace talks with Russia. Defense Secretary Hegseth installed a makeup studio near Pentagon press room. U.S. citizen with disabilities was detained for 10 days by DHS, family says. Senator Dick Durbin announces retirement, will not seek re-election in 2026. Governor Hochul announced historic Lockport post office renovation was complete with 1.8 million state support. Michelle Obama spoke out on skipping Trump's second inauguration and divorce rumors. Demi Moore reflects on strong family roots with Bruce Willis after divorce. China opens door to trade talks as the U.S. eyes tariff reductions. Iran calls U.S. sanctions a barrier to nuclear talks progress. Eleven killed in Gaza school shelter as Israel continues bombing campaign. India suspends key treaty and orders Pakistani nationals to leave after Kashmir attack. And London Marathon boycotts X over abuse and toxicity under mask. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all smart TVs and Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.